Advocate and supporter of our students and our school district, as well as a champion of Friends of Big Sky Education, Anne Marie Mistretta.
I've already lost my pen. Thank you. Is this my pen? My pen was stolen. Good morning and welcome. Welcome students in particular. Seniors, congratulations. And juniors, you pay attention because you'll be down here next year. You might pick up some tips for your applications. Dr. Shipman, parents, donors of scholarships, community members, thank you for coming. Families, thank you for coming. So, Friends of Big Sky Education, who are we? We have that funky name, Fobse. We started back in 2003, so we're kind of going on our 15th year. And we came together as a group in the community so that essentially we could get a high school here, because we were still shipping students to Bozeman High School. When we opened the high school in August 2009, there was, we had a little bit of a concern among the Fobse members, like, okay, who are we now? And we decided that who we are is people who support the school district and the community. So we did a number of things, refurbished the football field. We also designed and did the campaign, the capital campaign for the Warren Miller Performing Arts Center that you're sitting in right now. And finally, in 2014, my husband and I decided that we wanted to do a scholarship program, and we started with the class of 2015, and we had like maybe $20,000, and we are all the way up to $75,000 this year. So. So the Fobse team that works on the scholarships, I want to be sure to thank. Come on in, Tanya. My husband, Jerry, he had to go to Connecticut for a family funeral, so he was unable to be here today, but he actually is the person who started the scholarship program. And Whitney Littman, Marcia McKillop, these two gals are my right-hand people as we go out and canvass businesses and other folks to create scholarships to help kids. I also want to thank Mr. Ide and Ms. Wright, because the school has been, we couldn't do this without the school, and they've been fantastic. So we are about to award over $75,000 in scholarships today in the next hour. There's also another $16,000 that's lies in multi-year scholarships. So in other words, students earned those last year. Those students are freshmen right now. If they do well, they get that money for sophomore year. And we have quite a few scholarships that are multi-year that we'll award out today as well. That money comes, somebody just asked me before, where does all this money come from? It comes from this community. And there are many donors and sponsors right here in this audience, and many who could not come today. So I think we had something like 170 donors. So a big thank you goes out to this community for being proud of our students and for supporting them as they go into college. Parents, if you want to take photos, feel free to come fairly close to take photos. And how this works is I will talk about the donors and the sponsors, and I'll ask you to come up on stage. Probably the best place to come is on those steps. And then we announce who will be awarded those scholarships. So it's pretty easy. No sweat for all of you. We don't make you talk and everything. Okay, so we're going to get going. The Devin White Scholarship. Devin White Scholarship was established by his friends and family, to have his life honored and remembered. He made Big Sky his home in 1972, worked on the original road up to the resort, and then in 1988 purchased the Corral Bar and Steakhouse with his good friend. Throughout his life, Devin was an amazing mentor and friend to many young people, and always encouraged them to follow their dreams. Many lives were touched by his generosity and friendship, and they feel this scholarship would be a proper way to help carry on his spirit by helping the youth of Big Sky follow their own dreams. And we have Kathy and Dave House to present the award today. But this student, of course, received several other awards. So, Jack and Linda, come on up. Big Sky residents and retirees, Jack Luchtefeld and Linda Mead, are community active. Linda is president of the Women's Club, and Jack serves on homeowners association committees, volunteers at the resort with Eagle Mount and the Mountain Safety Group, which is part of the Big Sky Ski Patrol. They created this scholarship in memory of Jack's parents, Richard and Marie Luchtefeld, who strongly supported education. Their scholarship targets an academically deserving student who could use some assistance to continue academic study after high school. So welcome to the stage, Jack and Linda. First Security Bank, is Tim Kent here? It's now the result, it's First Security Bank. This is always very confusing to me, but it's the result of the buyout by Glacier Bank and the merger with Big Sky Western Bank. They dedicated this scholarship to a student whose continued education depends on scholarships such as this one. And the bank targets a student with strong academics and motivation. Katie Coleman, come on up. Hammond Property Management has been in the property management business for over 20 years. They're happy and proud to be able to help a local student in collegiate endeavors. The Hammond Property Management Scholarship targets a student who plans to study technical programming or a trade. And believe it or not, there is one more scholarship for this student. Marla, come on down. American Bank offered this scholarship to a deserving individual who's academically motivated and who exemplifies genuine kindness to fellow classmates and community members. The student is involved in public service and extracurricular activities. American Bank is proud to be one of the scholarship donors and wishes all the graduates much success in the future. Through this scholarship, the American Bank family hopes to encourage and support the continuing education of one of these talented and inspirational young graduates. The bank strongly believes LPHS students will promote positive change in the community and the country in the future. So now, who will get these? You want to give these out to everybody? This student is aptly named since he's traveled miles while staying right here in Big Sky and the Big Sky school system. Miles Wilson, walk another mile up here. Gotta come over here. Oh, I'll take a hug.
I need a hug.
I need a hug too. Miles had been a quiet student in his primary grade years, but his intense interest in all things technological provided him with a path to community and leadership. Miles's early fascination with video animation foreshadowed later work with robotics, servers, and software modification. I don't think I know even what a lot of those are. Rather than allowing technology to draw him inward, which happens oftentimes to kids, Miles used his knowledge and skill to socialize outward. Miles worked as an IT assistant at LPHS, led the high school's newscast team, gathered with tech industrialists at Hatch Big Sky, and worked an internship with the senior video editor at Outlaw. Unsure whether he'll attend college in California or Montana, Miles is definite about what he will study. It will be technology-based and lead him toward his future business. See, it's easy. The hard work already happened. It's the last 4 years. Is Anna Shipley here? Anna? Yellowstone Club Community Foundation and members of the Yellowstone Club offer their scholarship to the graduating senior, demonstrating excellent academic performance, significant community service, leadership, and commitment to pursuing overall achievement. A second year of this scholarship grants another $3,000 to the recipient if he or she excels in college. Dedicated to education, YCCF offers several other scholarships to local and regional students beyond the Fobse one. The Warren Miller, come on down, John. Warren Miller Performing Arts Center Scholarship organized a fourth year by executive and artistic director, founding executive and artistic director, as he tells us at every show. John Zirkle identified extensive involvement in the WAMPAC as the most important criterion for the award. The WAMPAC opened in 2013 through the efforts of Friends of Big Sky Education. Performance Center provides space for community performing, visual arts, and entertainment. And the space has also spawned amazing opportunities for our youth, which we knew would happen. This became a build it and it'll come. Build it and it'll happen. Jackie, Robin. Do you want to bring your friend? The Robin family created the Mark Robin Scholarship for Creative Writing as one of the ways to perpetuate the memory of Mark. He loved poetry since he was first introduced to it as a 17-year-old college freshman. Although an economics major in college, he gravitated to writing and found professors who became mentors for years. After college, Mark taught poetry to elementary schoolers in a rough section of Brooklyn, and then ran poetry workshops in a literary arts center in Los Angeles. Might not have known all this stuff about Marky Moose. It was real-life, non-rhyming poetry that spoke to him. Mark would want the recipient of his scholarship to truly enjoy the writing process and accepting of critique. So thank you, Jackie, for starting this scholarship. Thespian, writer, thinker, This student proves that Big Sky's got talent. Whether at Art Venture in Seattle, the Arts Roundup in Big Timber, the Hatch Festival, or Interlochen Center for the Arts in Michigan, Ava King Ava King focused her study on writing and the visual arts. Ava not only dedicates herself to the arts, she also shares her gifts and interests with others. She was a 4-year docent to the Warren Miller Performing Arts Center. She interned for Big Sky Broadway for a year and then worked for the troupe for 2 years after that. Last summer, she held an internship with Arts Council of Big Sky, working with children at the concert series, incorporating science, technology, engineering, and math, otherwise known as STEM, into arts activities, which is extremely difficult. Well, a lot of people think it's difficult, but Ava found it fascinating. One of her teachers described Ava's International Baccalaureate extended essay as analytical, comprehensive, and impressive. Ava speaks of that experience as not merely researching and writing a 20-page paper, but also learning about herself in the process. One of the many lessons that she learned, quote, "I will carry beyond the double doors at the end of the hallway and into the rest of my life," unquote. That's a life that Ava tells us will include business, the arts, and social justice. Ava will walk through the doors of Lone Peak High School and into the doors of one of the many highly competitive and Ivy League institutions that have accepted her. You're welcome. Is Kevin Barton here? No, Kevin? The Tina Barton Memorial Scholarship is intended for a student whose interests lie in education, culinary arts, or the arts, all interests of Tina Barton. Having earned her BA in elementary education, Tina had an intimate connection with childhood development. Her creative and artistic flair, coupled with her undeniable talent as a home cook, is the inspiration for this scholarship in her honor. One of Tina's personal challenges not many people knew about was her audition for Gordon Ramsay's Master Chef competition, where she also did Survivor or something. I remember that. She dreamed of opening Sweet Tea's Kitchen next door to the new Ace Hardware. She would have specialized in homestyle comfort foods, but Sweet Tea's is now the signature specialty housewares department at Ace, which is wonderful. I go there all the time for gifts. The next people are not here because they are on building their home in Costa Rica. For a 5th year, John and Laura Michael have funded the TRG Scholarship for Entrepreneurial Students. The Michaels, owners and founders of Trade Risk Guarantee, an import insurance company since 1991, value student engagement in entrepreneurship. Principal donors for the Bighorns football field, the Michaels have invested finances and themselves in LPHS, even though their kids are graduating from college this year and next year. So this is the 4th year the Michaels are offering the scholarship, 5th year, sorry, and the scholarship focus has evolved from purely business to business of the arts, supporting an entrepreneurial spirit associated with the arts industry. You get both. This student might not remember this incident about 11 or 12 years ago, but when she was young, she skied up to me during a ski lesson up at the resort on Ski Friday, and she said, quote, "Doc M, I quit this ski team." and then she shucked off her skis. That incident was an early warning sign that Emma Tompkins, come on up. It was an early warning sign that Emma would think differently about school and life. Emma tells us, don't go anywhere. Emma tells us that she, quote, doesn't need to be in. She, quote, needs to be out. This is Emma talking again. I found an irreversible passion for fresh air, sunlight, mountains, and pure solitude. Emma frequently hikes, rock climbs, fishes. Spending time in a boat on a river does not mean she's drifty. With a sense of self, Emma knows exactly where she's headed. It will involve art, and it will involve nature. Emma melded her addiction to being outside with her deep artistic, technical craftsmanship and personal vision, lugging supplies up rugged peaks to capture the scene on campus. Emma will lug those supplies to MSU, Bozeman, yes? Where I have to ask because they change their minds so frequently, where she will enroll in art and outdoor studies, promoting environmentalism through the arts. Congratulations. Scott and Martha, come on down. Scott and Martha Johnson are business leaders in the Big Sky community with an interest in supporting students who will study business. For years, Martha worked with local students through the Warren Miller Freedom Foundation to lead students to become financially strong and independent by introducing them to the principles of the American economic system. The Scott and Martha Johnson Scholarship is offered to a student who demonstrates an entrepreneurial spirit and a passion for creating and growing his or her own business. The successful applicant will have shown results-based attitude at Lone Peak High School. Josh, treasure, I know you're here. Oh, okay. Tell us who you are. Oh, Nancy, of course, and Caitlin. Caitlin, you were here last year. Roxy's Market is proud to be a part of the Big Sky community. After opening 5 years ago, Roxy's is committed to providing locally sourced, organic, and quality food and goods. Roxy's supports many community and school initiatives. With the belief that education is the key to success, one of Roxy's priorities is to help equip our children with opportunities to realize their potential and achieve their dreams. Roxy's is honored and humbled to present one of the greatest assets any young adult can receive, a scholarship to pursue education. Roxy's offered this scholarship to a senior who's demonstrated excellent work ethic while maintaining a 3.0 GPA. The recipient's resume also will reflect work experience as well as community service. Thank you for coming, Nancy and Caitlin. The Gregory Mistretta Memorial Scholarship for Leadership, organized by my husband and me to honor our deceased son, Greg, who was a school leader throughout middle school and high school. And every year I say I'm going to get up here and I'm not going to choke up. He was the captain of several athletic teams, basketball, tennis, and crew. Greg led in the classroom and in student government. In college at the University of Connecticut, when he wasn't working his internship at an international brokerage firm in commodities in New York City. Greg was skiing, fishing, and telling funny stories. The Mistrettas offer annual scholarships at Lone Peak High School, as well as a sizable amount annual scholarship in our original home state of Connecticut. As a matter of fact, Through an endowment, we've given over $300,000 to his high school back in Connecticut. My husband and I just downsized. We're still in Big Sky, but we moved. And when we moved, we found an article in the paper about Greg. His teachers described him as follows. Quote, "In all the years I've taught, he was one of the most upbeat people I can remember. He was a very good student, capable, interested, willing to work hard always, enthusiastic, willing to go above and beyond. He was always willing to talk and share things and to accept people for who and what they are." So we had to find a student that we felt would match this. Through her diligence, she earned second in the class with only 3 grades below an A. Through her commitment, she raced for 6 years with Big Sky Ski Education Foundation. Many other superlatives describe Cody Boersma. Oh, thank you. Her social conscience led her to participate in organizations like Girls for a Change, Wildlife, the Interact Club, Women in Action. Her persistence earned her #1 singles player in tennis, a sport she played for 4 years, earning all-conference. Never too proud, Cody worked jobs as custodian, breakfast attendant. She enrolled in the IB program at LPHS and stared down those fears of failure. She says that her biggest lesson at LPHS is, quote, "facing my true fears and taking personal ownership of my situations, and it will help me more than anything else as I take on my next challenge, college." Cody's headed to Northern Arizona State to study business and physical therapy. In fact, she has her academic life all planned out all the way to her doctorate. Congratulations. ACE Hardware Big Sky Scholarship is dedicated to a student who enters a 2-year trades technical program. Kevin Barton has owned the ACE Hardware for more than 25 of its 30-some years. And Kevin is a lot more than the, quote, helpful hardware man. And under his supervision, ACE is the place for many contractors working in our growing community. Kevin and ACE support the school and have offered this scholarship since 2015. In fact, he and his daughter Jules came out several years when we were raising funds through a walkathon. Radens, come on down, Amy and Gary. Okay, we can accept that. The Radin family moved to Big Sky in 2008 from Seattle, I have that right? Where their company mission statement was, work hard, value people, listen, be as generous as you can, and have fun. The Radins brought to Big Sky 2 sons who will embody that spirit. The Radins are proving their generosity with this scholarship, And it's a 2-year scholarship. If the recipient performs well in the first year, will receive a second scholarship in sophomore year. The McKillop Electrical Services, and Marcia is here, and Mountainscapes Scholarship is sponsored by the McKillop and Stars families and businesses. McKillop family moved to Big Sky in 2006. Marcia and Mark McKillop have supported the school through the Booster Club and other athletic program participation. Marcia joined the Fobse Community Scholarship Initiative 2 years ago, and I sure appreciate her help. Doug Stars of Mountainscape has lived in Big Sky since the early 1990s and started the landscaping business in 1993. Doug is active in his church, dedicates himself to his children and their athletic programs. And Marcia will present the scholarship for both of them. This recipient has returned from the halls of MSU, come on up, to accept these awards. Rowan Merriman graduated early, lost no time in continuing her education at MSU. Rowan describes herself as a hands-on and visual learner. Her favorite activity in high school was cheerleading. We know that. We saw her cheering at all those games, through which she brought smiles and happiness to the community and learned how to teach her teammates. Rowan cites the art venture trips as a highlight of her high school years, when she attained a deeper sense of her art talents. Rowan's teachers note her perseverance, strong organizational skills. Rowan achieved in her coursework while working several jobs in the Big Sky community. She has yet to declare her major at MSU, but we know that Rowan will be successful because she'll be persistent. Congratulations. John Haas. Spanish Peaks Community Foundation is an organization that supports many community initiatives that promote education, cultural opportunities, and access to outdoor resources. Spanish Peaks stipulates that their scholarship will be awarded to a 3.0 or above GPA student with strong involvement and leadership in the community service. The recipient may apply for a second year, another one of those multi-year, if the college transcript provides evidence of a 3.0 in freshman year. This is the 5th year that SPCF is participating in the Fobse Scholarship Program. I think you were the first foundation here to jump in and support this effort. Ray and Lydia Bartachek asked that the Bartachek Scholarship for a Scholar Athlete be awarded to a student athlete with at least a 3.0 GPA who best exemplifies sportsmanship, community involvement, and selfless contribution to their varsity team. And the Big Sky Real Estate joined the Fobse Scholarship Program this year, further demonstrating their leadership in the community. Their scholarship goes to an LPHS senior that exhibits high academic interest and dedication to environmental stewardship. We're thrilled to have their participation in this program, as we know that many of the employees of the company have children here in Big Sky School District. Sporting, no grade less than an A. This student does far more than, quote, go through the hoops. There are a couple clues there. Come on up. even when he finds himself fighting small town boredom by shooting hoops in a grain building in the middle of Montana. Kolya Bao lives his life in 3 highly disparate environments: in rural Montana ranchland, in urban Russia, and in remote yet sophisticated Big Sky. No matter where he is, Kolya takes his applied analytical skills with him. He tells us that his Montana-based environmental passions for agriculture and water quality, through stewardship at the Smith River Habitat Project, along with Cascade County water table monitoring, give him confidence in pursuing projects in Russia. At times, Kolya's athletic abilities merge with his financial and analytic talents to produce data-filled predictions and advice for sports networks and gaming products. A true team player, Kolya led the Bighorn Hoopsters in assists and belatedly joined the track team, breaking school records. We're hoping that Kolya takes his newly found love of running to Yale or Harvard next fall and runs the loops around New Haven Harbor or the Charles River to inspect the areas for degraded fish habitat, all the while making us landlocked Montanans proud. Oh, okay, I won't announce that. Yellowstone Realty. Anyone here from? No? Yellowstone Club Realty Scholarship is designed for a high-achieving and well-rounded student with at least a 3.0 GPA. Students' interests should include natural resource protection, preservation, and enhancement for the enjoyment of the community. Lone Mountain Land Company has been a vital part of the development of the Big Sky community for the last 10 years, focusing on the town center and private clubs in the area. Part of its stewardship as a community leader is commitment to thoughtful development, partnership, and community-mindedness. The Lone Mountain Land Company Scholarship is in its inaugural year with Fobse, and it's awarded to a student that exhibits exemplary character inside the LPHS and greater Big Sky communities, representing similar values to that of the company with regard to Montana hospitality, recreation, and community enrichment. A dedication to those values should be evident in the recipient's high school career. Chet Huntley's niece, Kristen Kern, and her family offer this initial Huntley Family Scholarship for environmental study in memory of Chet Huntley, the former newscaster and Montana native who developed the Big Sky Resort. Chet cared deeply about Montana's wilderness and wanted to protect it for the future recreation. Scholarship is intended for a student who's interested in pursuing studies related to conservation. Okay. Water, water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Oh, those famous lines from the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, a poem by Samuel Coleridge, that is. But there is a Samuel in our midst who could have written that epic. Sam Johnson. While on a trip to Cambodia and Vietnam via the Yellowstone Club's Big Bald Dave Scholarship, Sam helped install water filters in communities. When he returned to the U.S., he brought with him a deeper understanding of the complexities around access to clean water. A year earlier, Sam had worked in Costa Rica on an environmental sustainability project. As a result of his experiences, Sam decided to investigate water issues for his IB World Study extended essay. Meanwhile, he worked with Spanish Peaks Mountain Club's Go Green initiative, recycling and curtailing water usage. The only high school student in the entire country to attend the Mansfield Academy of Global Leadership Water Summit. Sam learned more from world leaders about tackling the water issue. Otherwise, Sam's a typical LPHS student, participating on the golf team, ski racing for BSSEF, working at a golf club, working at Sugar Buzz, possibly without spending his entire paycheck there. Sam is headed towards study in international business and international relations with a minor in economics and environmental studies. And I understand, there was a rumor this morning that you're going to be a Georgia Bulldog. Mm-hmm. Woo! Joining your brother down south. Mm-hmm. Sam, please bring back all your learning to Big Sky to help us with our sustainability and water issues. We need you. John Haas again. The Haas Builders Scholarship was dedicated for a student who's motivated and academically strong. John Haas, who's been active with scholarships for 5 years through Spanish Peaks Foundation, sponsored this scholarship through his company. John strongly believes in giving back to the community, as evidenced by all his philanthropic and foundation work. Stacy, come on down. Eric and Stacy Osorio initiated the Osorio Family Scholarship last year. Both realtors, Eric and Stacy, are active in the Big Sky community and have served voluntarily on several boards. They dedicated their scholarship to a student who has demonstrated exemplary personal and academic achievement through engagement in a range of programs and activities over a period of years. I think I saw Renee come in. Yes. Steve and Renee Schumacher, owners of the Conoco for 25 years. Actually, it's more than that. Oh, 26. Renee has volunteered on several boards, the tax board, the fire department, hospital. They donate both their time and energy and money to all things education. This year, the Schumachers dedicated a scholarship to a student with at least a 3.0 with motivation and aptitude in their chosen study field. And are RJ Klotz and Caitlin here? Yes. The Big Sky Chamber of Commerce serves community and regional members, offering tools, training, and tips to ensure that businesses thrive. Chamber, which supports local businesses here in Big Sky, targets students pursuing studies in fields related to business. Is that it? Yes, everybody got one? You'll never find a skunk in this fish guide's boat, but you might find one in his house. Sorry, Gary and Amy. Dawson Radin. Dawson is an ocean fishing guide out of Shearwater, British Columbia. He brings people together with salmon, halibut, and cod. When he's back in Big Sky, Dawson volunteers for Heart of the Valley, and here's where the skunk comes in. He becomes a foster parent to puppies and kittens, frequently takes them home. We were only kidding about the skunks. Dawson credits his work as a fishing guide with giving him many life skills. Every fishing guide knows the discomfort of not catching a fish. So every fishing guide learns how to entertain guests while the fishing is slow. It might be these experiences or the unfettered feeling of running track and free ride skiing that primed Dawson to shape the culture of his classes, de-stressing the environment through jokes and candid humor. His teachers attest to this. Quote, Dawson has this dry sense of humor that allows him to make insightful comments, unquote. Sounds like that means he can get away with stuff. Dawson merged his fishing experiences with his coursework when he crafted a paper on the impact of electromagnetic fields on fish navigation, which was rated highly as a quality piece of student research. We're not sure if he'll be in the fishy business, but Dawson plans to study business management.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. That's a lot of reading.
And I forgot to introduce you.
My name is Whitney Littman. I'm happy to be here and support this class. Anne-Marie, if you'll come back up for Fobse.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
The Friends of Big Sky Education is a school support organization founded in 2004. All Fobse projects are accomplished through the efforts of unpaid professionals. Fobse was the leader in the effort to open high school in Big Sky, the construction and sponsorship of the Wampac, refurbishing of the football stadium, and the tablet technology in the classroom. Fobse annually offers a scholarship to a high-achieving student whose resume reflects significant involvement in school and community service. Heather Morris, will you come up? The Moonlight Community Foundation, a community-minded organization, is awarding the Lee Poole Memorial Scholarship to honor Lee's vision and passion for the environment and founding of Moonlight Basin. Moonlight Community Foundation offered the scholarship to a highly motivated graduating senior who demonstrates a love for the outdoors and the environment, as well as displaying leadership and integrity. Got to get my program organized. Thank you. This student flies high with excellent grades in leadership positions. She hopes to fly airplanes after graduation from a pilot track aviation study at Baylor University. Brooke? Brooke came to Lone Peak High School in sophomore year and immersed herself immediately in 3 sports, achieving captain status and academic all-state in all 3 sports. She not only participates in 3 service organizations, but she is also leader of every one of those clubs. She's taken a particular interest in conservation, cleaning up beaches when she lived in Hawaii, and leading BSSD to recycling. Thank you. Both Brooke and her teachers talk about her perseverance and determination. She is enrolled in 2 IB Diploma Science classes during her senior year. One requires that she start school an hour before the regular school day, further lengthening her commitment at school from 7:30 a.m. early class through after-school athletics. Brooke says, quote, "Giving up has never been an option for me, so I cannot wait to see what opportunities lie ahead of me," end quote. Congratulations. Brooke. Beth Hoffman and Anna McKay. Big Sky Build has participated in the Fobse Scholarship for 2 years now. The award is targeted toward a student headed into engineering, architecture, or construction management. John Seeley, owner of the company, says that Big Sky Build is proud to support the students of Ophir Elementary and Middle School and Lone Peak High School. Ty and Pride, you guys here? Oh, there you are, Ty. The Agency Insurance Division Scholarship is sponsored by the Moleens, owners of Agency Insurance. The Moleens have been involved in the Big Sky community for over 21 years. Ty and Pride have served on boards, coached, and promoted the local food bank. Their company, Agency Insurance, is the only Big Sky owned and operated insurance agency with deep ties in the local community. The Moleens are proud to be able to give back to the community by sponsoring our Lone Peak graduates. They've targeted a student who intends to study in the trades such as mechanics, cosmetics, electrical, electronics, welding, and construction. The recipient may apply for a second year of funding. Maud Glore. And we apologize, this is Maud's first year in the scholarship program, and she was not listed on the back of the program. But we greatly appreciate her efforts. Maud Glore loves to present herself as a nutty lady, but those who get to know her understand that she is anything but nutty. She hails from the Chicago area, where she began her lifetime of dedication to the needy at age 14 when she tutored disadvantaged youth. Maud ran a daycare for homeless children in Indianapolis, and now, since her retirement in 2005, she has served as a court-appointed special advocate, representing children's best interests to the court. The Glore Family Fund is sponsoring this scholarship for a student who does not live in a typical nuclear family, yet still challenges himself or herself to remain in school and succeed. Family circumstances resulted in this student beginning her journey to adulthood earlier than most, when she moved out of the house to strike out on her own. After serious consideration of dropping out, as a sophomore, Sarah Davis Sarah took the steps to relocate to this area from North Dakota. Sarah's resume does not read like the typical high school student's, since survival and independence are critical focal points in her life. But Sarah has impressed teachers and bosses with her determination, persistence, and diligence. Sarah attributes her ability to complete her high school education to the teachers at Lone Peak High School and supportiveness of the Big Sky community. She's excited to study interior design at Gallatin Community College and undertake an internship at Alder and Tweed. Congratulations. Sarah. Is anyone from the Simpkins family here today? The Simpkins Family Town Center Scholarship is offered to a student with strong academic performance and community service. Bill Simpkins is a successful developer here in Big Sky whose town center development is expanding retail and living space for our ever-growing community. The Simpkins family has participated in the scholarship program for 4 years. Linda Mead and Sharon Bowers. The Gallatin Canyon Women's Club Scholarship has been in existence since 1977 and is the oldest scholarship awarded to students in Big Sky. The funds derive from contributions made by the women in this club. This is a merit-based scholarship that is intended for one who has demonstrated leadership, strong academic performance, and participation in extracurricular activities and community service. Thank you. Lone Peak Physical Therapy and Performance has facilities, thank you, Krista Boersma, for coming up, has facilities in 6 communities throughout Montana. Founded on the principles of applied functional science, Lone Peak Physical Therapy and Performance is dedicated to helping the people in our communities feel better, move better, and live better. Lone Peak Physical Therapy and Performance is excited to partner with Fobse to help provide opportunities for students to pursue an education or a healthcare-related field. This student arrived in Big Sky along with her family when she was in primary grades. She stood out even then as a unique student. 10 years later, Soleil Swenson. Soleil presents herself as a creative leader who is adept at working with children. Soleil produced top-notch work, whether in the arts or science fields, and in courses at the IB level. Her teachers say she brings a spark to the classroom, sets high standards for herself and others, and is driven to measure up to those standards. A participant in 4 sports, academic all-state in all 4 of them, and captain of 2 of them, Soleil tells us that learning how to work as an integral part of a team moved her to lead teams. Soleil found time to volunteer with young children in many venues, leading to her intended field of pediatric occupational therapy. Congratulations. Thank you. Is that it? No. Oh, wait, here we go. Sorry, I lost my papers. Do Cole. Sorry. June, Bao, can you come up? The Bao Family Scholarship targeted a student enrolled in the IB program with academic achievement, leadership, and athletic achievement in multiple sports with strong peer relationships. The Baos moved to Big Sky full-time in 2003 and quickly became proponents of a local high school and established Friends of Big Sky Education to foster that process. In 2009, they and the entire Big Sky community realized their dream with the opening of Lone Peak High School. Both Lauren and Jill are on many local boards, including Fobse, the school board, and the Warren Miller Performing Arts Center board. The Baos are all about education. They have sponsored many scholarships since the first year of this initiative. You've heard of the student who marches to the beat of a different drummer. This student marches to the beat of many drummers. In fact, he could be a 5-speed precision marching band unto himself. Cole March on up here. Throughout his 4 years at Lone Peak High School, we would have found Cole on the football field or the basketball court, not in the pep band, but in the middle of the play, and as the captain of the teams during his senior year. But we might have also had a Cole March sighting at Wampac, not playing in the orchestra, but acting in the spring musicals. Athlete, thespian, big brother, second grade teacher's aide, Boy Scout senior patrol leader. Well, as we said, Cole is a 5-speed precision marching band. Cole tells us that his first lesson in high school was that goals cannot be achieved without preparation and time spent working toward the desired outcome. That is wisdom that should carry him through college and into a business career. Congratulations. Mike Schultz, you here today? No? Okay. Renowned hoteliers, Buck and Helen Knight, the first owners of Buck's T4 in 1945, were known for the assistance that they gave to anyone who needed it. The Knights instituted the Buck and Helen Knight Foundation in the 1970s as a way to continue their hospitality and community work. The Mike Schultz and Bob Narrett families organized this scholarship in the Knights' memory. The organization awards scholarships to students in both Big Sky and Bozeman.
Marcia comes up for...
Marcia, will you come up for this? Rich and Shauna Bennett are proud owners of Big Sky Cleaning. Rich has owned that business for over 20 years. Shauna's two sons attended the Big Sky schools. The Bennetts targeted a student who has struggled yet has worked to overcome adversity and will continue education beyond high school. Is Kimmy Huftel here? The Milky's Rap Shack Scholarship was sponsored by Wendy Burton and Van Burton, who have owned Milky's for 23 years. They also support the local food bank, the homeless shelter in Bozeman, and a local softball team. Kimmy Huftel just purchased the Rap Shack last April, yet she continued this scholarship that was started by the prior owner. Raised in Butte, Kimmy's first job in Big Sky was at the Rap Shack. With a teaching degree in history and German, Kimmy is dedicated to education and to students, and she shows that with this new scholarship for her. If a family could earn airline miles for frequent moves, this student and his family would fly for free. Keegan Babbick's family relocated often. So Keegan attended 4 different high schools in 2 states. Quote, "Change is all I have ever known, but I will not allow change to dictate my life," end quote, says Keegan. He has adapted well in each community where he landed. Keegan has shared his upbeat attitude not only in his new communities, but also in foreign countries where he engaged in missionary work and learned more about himself. In addition to his participation in athletics, Keegan dedicated time to Big Brothers Big Sisters and church organizations. He is headed into yet another big transplant as he moves on to Wheaton College in Illinois, where he has recently been signed to play football. Congratulations. Let me give you this. Kathy Gorman and Tim Sear. Kathy Gorman and Tim Sear, broker and owners of the Big Sky Sotheby's International Realty, targeted their scholarship toward a highly motivated student with a minimum GPA of 3.0. Kathy and Tim have lived and worked in Big Sky since the 1980s, raised their children here, and have supported the school district for over 35 years. Tim and Kathy sponsor and support many arts-focused events. Big Sky Sotheby's is a 5-year participant in this scholarship program. In some instances, they have continued to fund the recipient's study beyond the first year of college. Dr. Jim Eidson, will you come up? The Bow family and the Eidson family hail from Montana and embrace the Montana spirit, as their families have for many generations. The Bows wish their scholarship to be awarded to an outstanding and ambitious student who embodies Montana's Western spirit, but who also has extensive international experiences. Bilingual student with dual citizenship. Miwash, why don't you just come on up? He was born in Poland. This student was uprooted from his home in Helena at the end of 5th grade. When most students were challenged with adjustment to the middle school years, Miwa Shipman was adjusting to a new country on another continent. Miwa said that, quote, "The shift to another continent was not what I wanted. However, it might have been what I needed to grow as a person," end quote. The Shipmans returned here to the United States when Dad, Dr. Dustin Shipman, was hired as superintendent here in the school district. Miwish re-entered the American educational scene with a more open-minded view and the ability to be himself in 2 cultures and 2 languages. He enrolled in the newly instituted International Baccalaureate program at Lone Peak High School, and he even attended the IB conference in the Netherlands in 2018. Miwish played 3 sports at Lone Peak High School, lettering in 1, while persevering through rehab of 4 knee surgeries, which punctured some of his skiing, backpacking, and rafting. Miwish is headed to a career in business and finance somewhere in the world. Thank you. Congratulations.
So I have some announcements that are important. One is that you have these sheets in your folders, students, and someone left theirs up here. So if you don't have a sheet, then you need to come get this one. This is really important. It explains how you get the money. And parents, you can get me at info@friendsofbigsky.education.org, or a lot of you have my personal email. Feel free to talk to me about, who probably should have the check made out to them. The answer is the students, because then it's not taxable for the kid. There's just a lot of ins and outs of scholarship financing, and my husband and I have studied it a lot over the last several decades, so we can help you out. Another important announcement is that there is High School Musical production this weekend, and I understand that Friday is pretty much sold out, but Saturday is very available. So get your tickets. There is a breakfast out here. We call it a grab and go because we know that you are trying to talk to your scholarship sponsors and trying to grab something to eat, trying to get back to class. So, and I want to thank Kristen Kern for her help this year, and Jackie Robin, because this is sponsored by Hungry Moose this year, so I thank you. And juniors, make sure the seniors can get out there first to get some food. Don't raid it all before, particularly the muffins. Dr. Shipman, come on down. Kevin Barton apparently is here. Where are you? Sorry. We talked about you. We said you were the helpful hardware man and Ace is the place and all that great stuff.
Well, first, just they forgot to recognize themselves. The scholarship committee does a lot of work, so can we give them a round of applause? So, over $70,000 for this group of graduating seniors. This is the highest amount of money in the state of Montana to give for scholarships in this community, is the highest in the state of Montana, and I know this because I checked. So we need 4 things really to have a great scholarship program. First of all, we need donors. So let's give the donors one more round of applause. We need students who are ready to accept those scholarships, and that's our 12th graders this year, so let's give them a round of applause. We need students who are creating a vision for themselves. So 11th graders, I'm glad that you're here to really see this, because there's a lot of opportunities for you next year to kick off into your college years. So let's give our 11th graders a round of applause. And lastly, we as a school district and in all schools, we really like to talk about how great our students are and how great, we're doing and how our students are going off and doing great things. None of that happens without a strong parent group. So really, parents, you're the most important thing. That's why these kids got what they got today, why they're getting what they're going to get next year, and why they're going to go off and be successful adults in this world. So parents, you deserve a round of applause from these kids. And lastly, we really just want Fobse to keep growing and keep growing and keep giving our kids more opportunities to go off and pursue their dreams. So thanks everyone for coming today, and we invite you out.